Hi everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. This is my November TBR. So this may be slightly chaotic because I have a lot of books to read in November. You may recall that I set myself the challenge of reading at least 75% of the books that I have purchased this year. So my issue was that I was buying way too many books and then just leaving them because I would pick up the newest release and then another one and then another one, and then inevitably some books got forgotten about. As more time passed, I started to be less and less enthusiastic about the books I was buying. I've done a whole video on this. I will leave it linked up above. I'm doing an update in a few days. You can see where I'm at. But what I'm trying to say is that I have a lot of books now that I need to read in November and December because I keep buying books. So I need to whiz through them. I have a massive pile here. The first ones are for non-fiction November because that's a readathon that's coming up soon, as in November. I think it lasts for the whole month. I can't remember who it's hosted by, but I will leave it down below if I remember. And I have 3 books for this challenge. The first one is From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle. I bought this one kind of on a whim because it had some good reviews and it was also cheap. So I believe this is a memoir. It's clearly won some prizes judging by the stickers. I believe it follows Jesse throughout his life as he is abandoned by his parents as a toddler and then gets adopted. I think goes through perhaps homelessness at some point as well. I don't read many memoirs. I haven't read one in years, I don't think, so I'm hoping this is going to be a good one. I can stack things up here now, that's good, isn't it? The next one I'm going to be reading for non-fiction November is Losing Earth, The Decade We Could Have Stopped Climate Change. In case you don't know, I'm quite passionate about climate change and preventing it, so I picked this one up when I was on holiday. It's a very short book, it shouldn't take long at all, but I do need to read it this year. And then the next non-fiction book is one that I may get to, but I may have to push back just because I've been reading a lot of similar books recently, and that is White Rage. I'm either going to read this for non-fiction November or I'm going to read it in December. I haven't decided yet, but I'm putting it here just in case. So everyone probably already knows about this one. It was very big last year when a lot of booktubers were pushing it after George Floyd was murdered and the BLM protests were happening. I did start reading it as an audiobook, but I wanted something in my hands physically so that I could underline stuff and actually take in the information, because there was a lot of information at the beginning, kind of like facts and historical context and things. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. It should be good. The next books are all ones that I have bought this year. I haven't hauled a couple of them actually, so this is a spoiler for the book haul that's coming up in 2 weeks. These are all ones that I've acquired this year and I need to get to. So the first one is Winter's Orbit, which I have hauled before. This one is a science fiction about 2 guys who are in an arranged marriage. I think it's kind of a political marriage in order to save their kingdoms, empires, whatever they are. It says here that it's a bid to keep rising hostilities between 2 worlds under control, so maybe they only have a planet each only. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I think it's a standalone. It has received very good reviews. I can't remember if this was a Space Sirens Book Club pick that I didn't read. Apparently it's a good debut space opera and I'm really in the mood for some really good sci-fi at the moment, so this is one that I picked up. Next we have one that was gifted to me, and that is Dragon Pearl. This is by Yoon Lee. It's middle grade fantasy with a bit of sci-fi mixed in as well. I think the main character has a fox spirit, I think, that accompanies her, or she can turn into a fox spirit. I'm not too sure. I think this ties in with Korean folklore. It's very short. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm really thankful that it was gifted to me. Then we have the 2 books that I haven't hauled yet, but I will do at some point. The first one is The Wolf Den, which is actually quite a chunky book. I picked these 2 up together actually because they looked good together in Waterstones when I walked in, and they kind of drew me in. So this one, The Wolf Den, is set in Pompeii. Obviously it's historical and it's about a woman who lives in a brothel, and I'm not really sure where it goes from there, but I love ancient Rome, as in like the entire thing. And I love fiction about ancient Rome. There's not enough of it that's not focusing on kind of the emperors or the wars and stuff. I want real life, you know, real life stuff about real life people. Not that the emperors weren't real life people, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I want normal everyday Roman life rather than emperors fighting each other for land and things, and you know, I'm sure that made sense. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I'm predicting this will be a 5-star read, but it's too late to put it into my 2021 5-star predictions video, but you've heard it here first. I reckon this might be 5 stars. I'm really looking forward to it. Then we have the next book that looks very good next to it, and that is The Night Watchman. Can you see why I bought these 2 together? Like, they look fantastic. So this one is set in 1953 in North Dakota. The main character is a night watchman who works at the first factory to open at the Turtle Mountain Reservation, or near it. I don't know much about this time in America, but I think there's some political stuff going on as well. And the other main character has a missing sister, so I think there's a bit of a mystery in there, and there's a lot of political intrigue, I think. The main character who works at the factory is part of the council and is trying to stop a bill, I think. Again, I don't know much about American history, but hopefully this will change that. I know that this author has received a lot of praise, and I believe she's Native American or has Native American heritage. I'm not really sure what the correct terminology is, I'm sorry. Again, I have very high hopes for this one. I'm not sure I'm going to love it as much as The Wolf Den, but I think it's going to be up there. I think it's going to be 4 stars. I'm very hyped to read it and I'm so excited. Then we have a few library books because I need to start getting through those instead of just keep renewing them all the time. The first one is one that I may have actually read in October, so you might see it in my October wrap up, but I'm recording this TBR a little bit early, and to be honest, I don't think I'm going to get to it because I'm in the spooky mood, not the science fiction AI mood, and that is Clara and the Sun. So this is a book club book. I'm reading this with my work book club, and it's taken me ages to get my hands on it from the library because everyone's reading it at the moment, everyone outside of my book club. Only a few of us have read it so far. We were supposed to read it in August and September, but we didn't, so I'm reading it now. I need to read this ASAP in November, so this is going to be one of the first ones that I read. I don't know much about it. I know that it's about an AI. It follows her, I think, and I've heard really good things about this author. They wrote Never Let Me Go, I believe, which is a thriller, which I also want to check out. But again, I have high hopes for this one. I think it's gonna be really good. I'm gonna start running out of space up there. Next we have America for Beginners. I believe this is about an Indian main character who goes, she's recently either been widowed or divorced, and she goes on a trip to America, and it's obviously a complete culture shock, very strange for her, and it's a road trip book, so I'm expecting this to be a lot of fun. Actually, I think it's gonna be a very funny comedy of errors kind of book, and I'm here for it. And then the final physical book that I want to show you, because I do have some more Netgalley books to show you in a second, is The Best of All Possible Worlds. My friend Angela really loved this book. I don't really know much about it, but I have taken her recommendation and I have acquired the book, so I'm going to be reading it soon. I think it's sci-fi. Let me quickly read the blurb, or some of the blurb, because I don't like to read blurbs really. Something, refugees, excess males of a decimated population, desperate in their search for stability, security, and wives. This is going to be very feminist. I think it might be a feminist book. It says here that there's a community that has lost most of its women, so I don't know, this sounds really good. It says here that Karen Lord is a fresh new voice in contemporary fiction, but I'm fairly sure this is not a contemporary book as in like contemporary the genre. I think it means contemporary as in like nowadays. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it's going to be really good, and Angela has spoken at length about how amazing this book is, so I have very high hopes. That's all my physical stuff that's hopefully not going to fall and kill me. I just really quickly wanted to go through some of my Netgalley books that I have because I really need to read some of those as well. This is all part of like holding myself accountable and doing the things I say I'm going to do, except I never actually do them. So let me just go on to Netgalley. I will do a Netgalley update, by the way, but it probably won't be coming until January at this point because I've got so many Bookmas videos to film that I don't think I'm going to get to a Netgalley update until then, but I do have a lot of books to get through, so let me just list off some of the ones that I'm most interested in and most likely to get to soon. I went on a bit of a requesting spree, so we have Beasts of Prey, which it has been very popular and very hyped up over in the US, and it's just coming out here in the UK in early 2022. Don't know anything about it, I just saw that I was auto approved and I saw that it was going to be really popular, and there was some controversy surrounding it I think recently because it's being turned into a film or something, or I might have the wrong book, but yeah, Beasts of Prey. We have Manhunt, which I love the cover for. Look at that cover, it's juicy. We have Dig Two Graves by Gretchen McNeil, which is who is a thriller author rather. We have The Sorority Murder, which comes out in December. This is about a murder at a sorority house, I think. I actually requested this one or downloaded this one live on a reading sprint. And then Alone Out Here as well, which I also requested recently. So I want to try to get to those, although some of them don't come out until early 2022. And then there's also These Deadly Games, which also comes out in early 2022. I'm part of the Street Team, so I got this early. I really enjoyed this author's debut book, so I'm looking forward to reading this thriller. Dead Silence, which is a sci-fi murder thriller sort of thing. Can't wait to read that one. And Hide, which comes out in December, which I'm less hyped for now that I've read some more reviews about it because people don't really seem to be enjoying it, which is a shame, but this one is a thriller as well. So there are a lot of thrillers on my TBR that I really want to get to. Can I do it? I do not know. I'm not really feeling too stressed about my Netgalley books, to be honest. I've got a good bunch there and I know that I'm going to be in the mood for them at some point, and my Netgalley percentage should keep going up. It's been going up consistently this year, so I'm very pleased with myself. I've been doing quite well, if I may say. So yeah, that's my November TBR. It's going to be absolute madness, but I do have a lot of days off in November, even though I do also have a lot of plans because basically it's our anniversary, mine and my partner's, and so I've got a day off for that and then a weekend of doing stuff, and then I've got a whole week off for my birthday, and we're doing something for my birthday as well. I just don't know what yet. And then I've got some days off for his birthday towards the end of the month, so I've got a lot of days off. I think I'm only working like half of November and half of December, so I've got a lot of time to catch up with my TBR, everything I'm behind on. I can read some Netgalley books, I can get through all of my physical TBR books. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to the next couple of months. The last quarter of the year is always my favourite. I always have such a good time with my reading and with my personal life and things going on, so yeah, it should be good. Let me know in the comments below how your November is looking. I would love to know if it's as chaotic as mine is going to be. Do you have some really ambitious goals before the end of the year? Are you on track with your goals? Are you happy with how they're going? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Bye!